Hey everybody, just kind of setting things up. How are we doing this evening? Sorry, I have a little bit of cold I'm still recovering from. There's my phone camera. All right, well, let's get some stuff down here and we're gonna play. I have some of the, let's see here. There we go. Thought tonight we'd play with some of the inspiration box stamps, and I did see I see the pattern here. Stamp is back in tonight, and then I do have the stamp of the month. I don't think we're going to play with that tonight. Hi, Lori. I think I'm going to make a background with I see a pattern here, and then we'll get some summer images, and we'll go from there. I didn't know if I wanted to use any of these stencils, but I don't think so today. So I'm going to put those away. And then I do have the silk ties. Good evening, Cherie. Right? I'm sorry. I've been kind of a day. I haven't even cut my dies apart yet. So not sure what we're going to use with them yet. So I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, let's get started. I really don't have 100% plan. This is kind of some of my favorite ways to craft, is to sit down and let you guys see my process. Because I know sometimes people sit down and don't know how to create, or they not know how to create, but they have like a block, and I thought that I would show you this. So we're just going to play tonight. First thing I'm going to do is grab some Harvest cardstock. We're going to get that cut down, and I left my cutter way over here. I'm prepping a bunch of cards, so I have stuff all over my craft room. So I have things just everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to a regular 5.5 by 4.25 inch panel. And then we will go from there. So I think to start, what I'm going to do is we're going to use our Misty here and do our best to, I'm going to show you how I do my best to line this up. I think what I'll do to start here is I'm just going to put it off to the side. So if you notice that I see a pattern. Hi, Ellen, I'm doing good. How are you? The weather is changing and it's making me happy. I'm possibly going to see some white stuff on Sunday, which is fine because I'll be home. So this is the I see a pattern here. And if you notice, I should probably make sure I have this the right direction when I put it on here. Sorry about that. I should have paid attention. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. I am going to kind of do it. We are going to do it like this. Okay, so here, let me pull this piece of paper up. Cool, but not cold yet. It's cool. I mean, I have a dress on and I didn't need, tights. But if you see right here, there's a corner missing from this piece. So this side matches up with this side, and this side matches up with this side. So you can do a continuous pattern. You can see this is the top to this right here. Here, this little corner piece goes with this. So we're going to do that a little bit tonight. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. So I think I will do the whole stamp. I'm okay with it. I'm going to cut this down a little bit, I'm sure. So I'm not sure. I'm not worried about if I don't get it to the edge of the paper. I'm going to use a couple extra magnets because this is a whiter stamp. Okay. And it's our cool 78. It was that yesterday here, Ellen. It was not that today. It was supposed to get to 70, but it did not. Because it was cloudy, a little rainy, but it was fine. I think it's supposed to rain the next couple of days. And then, like I said, they said possibilities of some wintry mix on Sunday, which is fine because I have nowhere to go. So I'm a fall winter girl, so bring it on. Now, I won't say I don't mind this weather. I took the dog for a walk at about 5 o'clock, and I had a light sweater on, and because I have a tank top dress on and just my sandals, and I was pleasantly warm. Yesterday was windy and warm though. Okay, so I'm just using, this is just a little thing to help spread this around. Yes, Ellen, they did. Hi, Christy. I checked tonight that I see the pattern here was in stock before I used it. I wanted to make sure. At least it said it was in stock when I was online. I can probably check again, but it should be there. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp down just a little bit more. My ink pads need to be re-inked. I have had this one actually is a new ink pad. I've had several because I use them all the time, but they do need to re-ink them. And I use mine not quite daily, but quite a bit. So sometimes I have to replenish mine more frequently because I use them so much. And that's partly just I make lots and lots and lots of cards. That's all I do on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this down. I'm going to go ahead and put it up at the top in the corner just to make it a little easier on myself. I am going to clean off my stamp fairly well here because we're going to line it up. We're going to distress this a little bit, so it's okay if I get a few smudges because I feel like patterns aren't perfect. So now we're going to take this and we're going to start up here at the top, and I'm not quite sure if it will go all the way in my MISTI. So I need this little teeny tiny corner. So what I might do is we're going to push it off to the side here a little bit. Actually, I'm going to change my mind completely. We're going to do it this way because I have it. And we're going to line that up. Excuse me. So it's this little tip. We're just going to go in and we're going to, excuse my head, kind of line it up like so. I'm going to see how well I did. Looks really close to me, so I'm going to go for it. Okay. And we'll see. And I just need to do a little bit inking on here. The nice part about this, making this kind of a back, oh, look at that. I got it almost perfect. Perfect enough, right? See, now I'm going to raise that up here and see, you can see where the little tip was right there. That's how I used to line it up. So that works very, very well. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off again, and then we can turn the pattern again. And I'm going to try to line up this side first, and then we can use the corner. So that was up here, so it should be right like this. Excuse my head for a second. Looks pretty good to me. I'm actually going to watch the camera for just a second, see if my head even, yep, my big old head. Look at that. I even have looks like I got a balding spot there. Oh my goodness. All right, that looks good to me. And then, when I first, you don't have to. The first time I used this, I just stamped it randomly and it worked. And there we go. I got to ink it a little bit more down. But most of the 4x4, I don't want to say all because I'm not 1000% positive, line up as really, really well where you usually can't tell. Okay, and then we're going to push this in the corner. And we're going to see if we can get that last little bit lined up. Oops. Oops. Oh, not even in the corner all the way. All right. And then you got a full background. So, yeah, it is kind of cool that that happens. So, all right. So what I did again, like I said, this was this piece here. So that is this here. So this should line up. Let's see. I'm going to use this piece over here for reference. It's okay. Oh, I got to use the corner. That's what it is. It's the corner right here. Because see that corner, let me pull this up. The little corner right here is missing. So we're going to line that up with this little corner on the stamp set. And we should be good. We're just going to do, I think I'm good, just good enough. Let me lift it up and look. I think that's going to be close enough that if this little corner's off, we'll figure something out. All right, so we're just going to ink this up. And look at that. I'm off just a hair. I'm off a hair, but not enough that I think it brings attention to it. Ooh, I gotta piss fuzz on. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and quick. Sometimes I like to spray my cloth with my mist, my squeaky clean instead of my stamp. Just because I overspray a lot. Sometimes I get it on my projects. So there we go. I'll take that off and we'll line that back up. Hi, Tina, how are you? So we're gonna go ahead and line this back up and we'll have that done. So there we have our background. And so I have it's just off, just a hair right there, but not enough. If you won't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone. So now I think we're going to just kind of distress this a little bit. Now we are live, so I don't want to have a lot of drying time and things like that. So instead of using the vintage sprays for this, I'm just going to use some ink. But I think I'm going to cut it down just a hair on each side. So I'm going to kind of line it up. When I do it, I kind of line it up in the middle of the two blocks on my trimmer. And then I can line this one up at the 4 and cut it down. And then same thing here. I can line it up in the middle of the two blocks here, approximately. And then I can do that over here. So I have a 5 1/4 by 4 inch card panel. And that is going to be, thanks, Ellen. I am going to make this into our background. So I have been kind of doing this a lot lately, is even though I have a glass mat, I've been making a mess on the back of my cardstocks because I don't always have things clean. So I have been using more and more paper too. Like this is a receipt from a Bruce Monroe order to hold down so I can see where I'm in ink blending. And I'm just got, this is the Weeping Willow. I have really fallen in love with this Weeping Willow ink from Simon Hurley. And we're going to go ahead and, it's a little bit browner ink than the Harvest. Harvest has a little bit more orange. I'm not a huge color specialist, but that to me, it has a little bit, looks like more orange in it. So I'm just going to ink blend this up a little bit. Kind of distress the edges up a little. You could tear. I usually, Ellen, I save them because sometimes because with the design team, sometimes we get samples that don't necessarily have the piece in here that have the numbers on them, like for stencils once in a while. And so I save those so that if I need to refer to it until I get a chance to label and mark it down. Because in the past, I have not always done that. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I can't remember what that stencil is called, especially for during a live. So we're just going to do this, kind of leave the center light, I think. Kind of gives maybe an image. Our image will have a halo look to it. And then I think what I want to do is I have this old, I know Tim Holtz has one. This is an old distressor that a friend of mine gave me from one of those home parties that you can go to. And I'm going to edge and tear this up. So let's see what that looks like. See, we're just going to kind of, I liked how that looked on the card I did not too long ago. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to worry too much about getting wrinkles on my paper. I think like it's okay if I get some wrinkles. Because, you know, that's kind of, patterns have crinkly wrinkles. So like you could use if you don't have the Viper paper to spray, use some of the aqua pigment paper because it's lightweight and you could crumble it. Yeah, I agree, Ellen. I have it sitting up around to the side, and then I use it for messiness projects and throw it away as I'm like, okay, I've used that a lot. Let's throw that one away. Especially if I'm doing glazes and things like that. So I'm just gonna kind of tear those up. I don't know if there's different edges on this one. I'm just fraying it up, kind of there. So we got kind of a messy side here. Let's toss those little pieces away. And that will be our base. Let me see, I'm gonna grab a card base here. This will be our background. I may put this on a black. Now we need to do a couple images. I need to grab some alcohol. There it is. Perfect Blend is my favorite, of course. Got a couple small pieces here that I might try to use up. A little smudgy too. Hi, Francie. How are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm gonna just go ahead and we're gonna stamp a couple of these images out, and then we'll quick cut them and die cut them. I'm thinking maybe we'll do the dress. Uh-oh, I just threw a stamp on my lap. I think we're gonna do the dress. I like the dress. And we're not gonna do a bunch of fancy coloring. We're gonna do some quick coloring, if that's okay. So we got the fancy dress here down here in the corner. And then trying to get the side with the less schmutz off of it. Let's see what else, what other images do we want to use here? I'm gonna do the looking sharp. I don't know if I want to do another one or not. Sorry, I'm just kind of contemplating if I want to use another stamp or not. I think that's what we're just going to do for tonight. You've had a lumbar injection today. If it doesn't work, I'll be driving my car. Oh, I hope you feel better, Francie. It will work. I'll be positive. We'll think positive for you, okay? All right, so I'm just going to use, this is the, like I said, this is the Perfect Blend paper. I really, really like that. This would be a fun stamp. I was thinking about stamping stuff on that, on the Silk Ties paper, but I think I'm going to color it. Okay, so what I like to do, you're welcome, Francie. I will, thoughts of positive thoughts. I like to stamp my image and leave it in my MISTI. This is nerve-wracking for some people, but this is what I'm going to do. We're going to leave that here. Sometimes I forget this step and I have to stop what I'm doing, and when I'm creating it, I'm like, stop what you're doing. Go back before you cut. So we're just going to quick cut this out. I think we're going to make, let's see, what color do we want to make? Let's make an orange dress because we're going into Halloween, right? So this is a tri-blend marker. It's the orange blend. And what I have found for me has worked the best is to go ahead with the light color. Actually, hold on, you guys. I'm going to throw on my little cheater spectacles, if you don't mind. I can see this up just a little bit better. And I have found for me that it's definitely easier if I use the light first and color in the image. So we're just going to do a quick color. I really have been liking the tri-blends. I'm not sure if we're going to do what color belt we're going to do. We might do a different color belt. But because I'm doing the light, I can go ahead and just kind of scribble the color on. I don't have to be super precise. I like that the tri-blends give you the option, the three colors, so you don't have to necessarily think about what markers need to blend. Though I am a very big proponent from Candi. She's a very good colorist. If you haven't checked her out too. Yes, there is a sewing machine on there, Francie. I just happened to see that. This is the all the details stamp, and there's dies. So if you want both, get the inspiration box, because if you buy them separately, you're going to be paying at least as much for the inspiration box as you would if you just bought the box. Plus, then you get other things in the inspiration box. But yes, there's a sewing machine, and then I use the background die. This is called I See Pattern. I see a pattern there, and it's like a pattern paper or a pattern that is also available. So now I'm going to go in and use my dark marker, and on this, because it has the shadows, I'm just going to color in where they gave me the shadow marks, and then of course the back part of this, and just kind of give it some shadowies. You know, I don't worry too much about light sources and coloring. I just make it look like I like it. Now, I will say that coloring with alcohol markers, it can take some practice. I was talking about Candi, and she's a very big thing on color plucking, where you just go and pluck colors. So I don't color pluck like she does, but I will go in. This is the medium. And I will just grab a couple of markers that look okay to me. I don't look at the numbers, nothing when I'm coloring with Copics, and I just go for it. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to shade a little bit around the sides, because that gives us a little bit more rounded shape for a dress. You're welcome. You're welcome. Uh-oh, did I just, nope, this is the light. So I'm going back over with the light, which might look like a hot mess right away. But this is how I have found it work. Coloring works for me. I like to go in different, I also found if you're having difficulty blending, go in circles. If it's like right around an edge, if the two colors don't match very well, if you go in circles over the lines where the two colors match up, that tends to help with the blending. Now I colored fairly quickly, so I have some over edge, but we can fix that. I'm going to go ahead one more time with the dark marker and add just a little bit. I don't usually color this quickly. I usually take quite a while to color, but nobody wants to sit and watch me color. Well, or maybe you do. Okay, so we've got that. I am going to quickly grab my white gel pen. Okay, yeah, no, I'm not sure either. However, the bundle is available if you just want to, if the inspiration box gets sold out, it's called All the Details, and there's a bundle that'll have the stamp and die together. And I did check to make sure that that was in stock today before I did this, just to be safe, because I know that we were starting to sell out of some of the inspiration boxes. Looking for my white gel pen. I have a few here and they're old. There we go. We're going to let that dry on the sides here where I overcolored just a little bit. That'll work. Okay, now we're going to do her belt, and I think because, well, we're going to do we also have to do the hanger, and I'm just going to grab, this is the tan shades, and go ahead and color that very quickly with one color. I'm not going, this is just the light shade. Okay, and then I think for fun, I'm going to go ahead, we're going to make a purple. Oh, you saw it. Yeah, I was watching the live packing, and then I had to go to lunch, so I had to leave, and I didn't see the rest of it. And I got busy this afternoon, so I did not go back and watch. So this is the lavender blend, and I'm just going to go ahead and I use the dark, and then I use the light to kind of blend it out. Actually, I'm going to go back and just use all the black purple, just make it dark purple. And then I'm going to go ahead and color in the ruffle purple too. Alrighty. Okay. So we got a very quick colored dress. You got one of the last two. Okay, there you go. So I would not hesitate if you want Francie, otherwise, yes. So here's the dies. This is how they come. I haven't even cut mine apart yet. So I just have some jewel snips here that I've had for a long time. These are just from a, you know, a crafty box store. And I just kind of, what I like to do is I kind of try to take one apart. I used to cut my dies apart right away, and now I cut them apart as I use them. So to save space and to make the dies, sometimes we have the dies have the inside pieces. Now, if you haven't cut the dies apart before, if you see like the iron here, or this is the sewing machine, these thick pieces here do not cut. It's just, those are holding the pieces together so that you have a hole that cuts out the inside pieces. Okay. But you do cut the little things off, and people have different ways about it. Some people say to go and twist. I tend to just chop them all off. And then when I got my little pieces like this, you can use a cloth, but I'm going to go over to my garbage can real quick. And I just kind of snip them. I put it way down in the garbage can, close my eyes, and kind of snip them. So that way, if they fly, they kind of stay in the garbage can. Okay. Okay. Well, Francie, I said if you go in to here, I will look quick. I have my other old phone here. Let's go to Brutus Monroe. Well, if you guys don't mind me waiting just a second, we'll pause here. And am I not on the internet? My internet is very slow. All right, what's going on here? Oh, there I am. This is my old phone. Okay, under the inspiration boxes, subscriptions. We'll check there quick. And it might have sold out once it does say add to cart. So did you go under, Francie? Did you go under inspiration box or under subscription project and inspiration? It's the tailor-made inspiration box. Because it does say add to cart now. I'm gonna try and see what happens. It may not let me. It says it added to my cart, but I didn't try checking out. So let me take it out of my cart. So if you want it, but otherwise, if you go to all the details, and I can give you a BR number. Oh yeah, Francie, if you go on the website, go under I don't have the app right now. Go under subscription products. But otherwise, all the details, the bunders, $34.99 for the stamp and die. And if you have a pen, here I can try to put it in. It is BRU6915. That's for the bundle, okay? The stamp and die bundle. Sorry, stamp and die bundle. I can't do a link on my thing because I don't have a computer. I'm on a tab. Oh, you got it. Okay. Okay, good. So that would be, the last. There you go. Well, good. I hope you got the last one. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it. I actually ordered a second set for myself, for my sister, because she is, my mom and her, they do some sewing, and I wanted parts of it, so I ordered one so she could have some of my duplicates for her junk journals and stuff like that. I guess that's our planners. All right, so I'm just lining the die up. It's very easy to line up our dies. I'm not, like I said, doing things live is always a little different than when you do it without a live, because, people are watching. I got some pixie tape. I'm so excited for you. And then we'll cut that out. And we got to figure out what else we're going to do. And then look at this. So now I still have a little bit of a bloop. And then look at this. So this die has this little, see how I said these thick pieces up here? Don't cut those off. Let's see if I can get that a little higher so you can see it. See the thick pieces at the top here, right there by my finger? Don't cut those off, those tabs off, because that cuts the hole in the top of the dress. Okay, that's what those are for. So just the tiny pieces if you haven't cut dies apart before. Look at how cute this dress is. So super cute. We're gonna add a little bit more white gel pen to this spot here because sometimes I found if you go over it a couple times, you let it dry, it gets a little bit better. So here's our base for our card. And I feel like we need a little bit of something else because it's kind of floating in the air. Now look at this, look at how cute this would be. I know it has a hanger on it. You could probably, if you fussy cut this out, we could do that. Do we want to do that? If you masked this off and fussy cut this out, you could actually put the dress on the mannequin. Isn't that funny? But we got the hanger. I could, if we fussy cut that out, we could cut that off and we could put it on the mannequin. But I think we're just going to hang it. We're just going to have it hanging tonight. Because it's already 7:30. I don't know if we have, oh, go for it. You think I should go? Okay, I can go for it. All right, we got to stamp it out first. Let's see which mannequin does it fit on either one a little bit better. I think it fits on this one better. We're going to go for it. Cut the hanger off. We will. All right. We're going to go for it. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't stamp over my image like I always do. I told you that. I knew I didn't do that right. Oh, well. Okay. So we're going to do this. All right. You're going to have to, the hanger, I might have to fussy cut the whole dress though. So we're going to quick stamp this down. We really don't have to cut the color this because we're not going to see the mannequin. We're just going to see the bottom. All right. We're going to go for it. So I need a little bit fancier stamp down here. All right. I think I'm just going to leave this right here in my Misty. It's black, but I think I'm going to go in. I have this brown gray blend, and we're just going to use that mid-tone and color this up just briefly. Just to give it a little, I probably could have done this in embossing powder. All right. And then we're going to just leave it. So what I was talking about is once you color the image up, you know, you can go in and you can do a little coloring here and there. I'm just doing it so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I'm coloring specifically over the lines of the stamp. What I like to do is, if I remember, which I didn't with the dress, is I leave it, put it back in my Misty in the exact position, and I stamp again with the black detail ink over the top, and it just adds that little bit of extra dimension over your coloring. Okay? So I wanted to encourage you to do that. Because it is, to me, it's a game changer. And then you also can go over this and you can put embossing powder on it. And you could heat emboss it and make it shiny, but but I don't think you're not really supposed to use embossing powder in alcohol inks because they can interact with each other. I mean, I've done it, but we're not supposed to. I don't think. Shh. All right. Yeah, yep, it would give it a nice wrought iron look. I don't know what I have handy. I have sterling. And I have the Scowleen, which is kind of a, but we're just going to go ahead and do it the way we have it right now. All right, so we're going to cut this out real quick, and I'm not even going to worry about the other little snippy pieces. So we'll cut the rest. I'll cut those off later. I like it. I thought for a fast, quick card, like I said, you could stamp the dress out with like maybe a white embossing powder on so that you could see it on the tailored made paper or the silk ties. I don't have the silk. I have the silk ties paper pad, but I don't have the tailor made paper pad. And then you could die cut it out and you'd have that pattern on there, which would be fun. There's not enough time in the days to do everything that sometimes you think of. Excuse me a second while I line this up. Like I said, I love the Brutus Mineral dyes because they line up so well. Okay, we'll cut this out, and then we do need some sort of backdrop. I'm thinking I'm gonna grab a piece of vellum, and we're gonna cut a piece of vellum so we see some of that. Okay, so we've got our backdrop. See, we're gonna layer it right on top. So I guess I wouldn't have to cut it, but I am gonna do a quick fussy cut on this. Let's put my die over here, just because I don't want to lose this stamp. I'll put it in my little bin right here. I'm gonna kind of just do a quick little. This has got like a lacy edge, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just kind of going up and down so you don't really see it. And I'm gonna fussy cut it because once I cut the hanger off, it's not gonna have the white edge on top. So then it didn't matter if it bled over a little bit. Just kind of going around. This is a quick fast, and so since we're gonna cut the hanger off, I'm just gonna whoop, snip it right off. And then we're gonna go in and cut it off right there. And on the hanger part that's still behind the dress, we're just gonna color that orange quick, even though it was brown before, because it's dark. It's the dark back side to the dress. And actually, I don't know if you wouldn't see that part. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut that down. We're going to cut right along the edge of the front of the dress, because obviously we would not see the back of the dress if it was on the mannequin, right? So that took care of that problem right there. Look at that. See? Perfect. Okay, so now what I like to do when I fussy cut is I just grab a black. This is just a really cheap black alcohol marker. I think a lot of times there's a Memento black marker, but mine is dried out, so I need a new one. And I just kind of go around the edges just to give it a little bit of a finished. And it helps hide any imperfections in my cutting. Okay, there we go. All right, we got the beginnings and almost everything's of a card here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I know we've got the white edges on that, so we could do this on white, but I feel like I want some black. So I have some old black cardstock. Raven would work. This is just a cheap version of, it's actually heavy cardstock, but if you can tell when I went to fold it, it cracked really bad. Where did that go? I'm going to go ahead and just snip this off. I'm just going to cut this off. And we're going to mat this quick. Get it some black. Right like this. I think that's going to make it look nicer. Oh, that's not even. That is bigger than an A2 card, but for some reason. Well, let's cut that off. Oh, thank you guys. It make me laugh. 5.5. So it's a little bit longer than 5. All right. And I think I'm going to fray this one too a little bit because I feel like it needs to, so it matches. I just won't fray it as deeply. It's going to fray it up a little bit. Maybe one spot here or there might be a little bit more. I think that this distress, when you distress it, it kind of adds to all of the distressing. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could have stamped that right on that same paper. The harvest paper, and then it would have blended in, but that's okay. All right. I'm going to blow all the little pieces away. So we're going to mat that on here. We're going to mat that on here. And even if the little bit of white shows, it's okay because my white card, there's white on there. Well, let me get that down. And then we've got this. Yeah, you know what, Francie? And I've found that it sometimes depends on how quickly I'm doing things. I have found that it's been a little easier to Okay, so the dress lines up okay, but it's a little bit high up there if I want the waist to be right where it's at, which I'm okay with. So I might trim it down just a little bit, but we'll see, because I said we can always bend it over too, but I don't want to do that till we get there. I found if you can maybe score it on both sides, that tends to help, or maybe missed it a little bit, but this was, you know, some cheap, it's from a, I shouldn't say cheap, but it is cheaper black cardstock. And I don't make black cards very often. I usually use it as a mat because then you got to put an insert in it anyway. I pretty much only use the Bruce Monroe pre-cut card bases because I love them. They're just simple. All right, we need some vellum. So I have some somewhere here. I don't think I have a big enough piece handy. If you guys give me a second. Like I said, oh, here it is. It's been sitting on my desk. Like I said, I've been getting ready for Christmas cards, so I've got stuff everywhere. Yes, try scoring on both sides. And scoring multiple times, not going and really hard scoring. That seems to sometimes help too. So I'm just going to cut this in half and then in quarters because I'm just going to do a quick shape. I'm going to just grab some sort of shape die out of my stash. I don't even know what it's going to be. And then we're going to stamp the sentiment out and we'll be good to go. So let's grab my shape dies. Go in here. Go through, and I found this is an old Spellbinders die. I think this is the one I think we're going to use. I'm thinking maybe this one. Yep, this is the one we're going to use. And we're just going to cut this out quick. And loving how this card is coming together. Like I said, sometimes you just have to, if you're stuck in a little bit of a crafter's hole or a rut, just go create some stuff, whether it's color up some images or make a background, cut some die cuts out, get inky a little bit, you know, maybe just stencil a little bit, and eventually things will just kind of flow into place. You know, it's just paper, right? Yeah, I think, oh, that's perfect. Okay, then I think what I'm going to do to add the white, we're going to add the sentiment on white because we need a little bit of white on here. Okay, so let's start getting our stuff together. I do need to fill my ink or my glue thing up because it's almost empty. I have to order another refill. They last a long time. I've had this and the refill for, I don't know if I've had it for 2 years, ever since we've done our collab. We did our collab a year or two ago, and so if you've ever used the Barely Arts glue and you get the refill, it lasts forever. So, and then we're going to go ahead and line that up. I'm just going to make sure the waist is where it should be. And then kind of center it. And I thought maybe we could see about just folding over those pieces. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. I just folded over the tips. I like it. And then what I'll do is I'll grab a little piece of, if I want to use a washi tape, just the tiniest piece of washi tape or pink tape. And we're going to tape it down in each spot. So I'm glad I didn't cut that off. See, sometimes don't rush to do things because, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just snip that off. And I'm like, oh, why did I do that? Now I can't fix it the way I want to do it. All right, we got that glued down, and I think once we glue it in place, it will be good. All right. Ooh, I moved it over just a hair on this, on the mannequin. So we're going to pull it up ever so careful. Maybe not. It's down. We're going to leave it the way it is. What we'll do, because of that, is I'm going to very carefully just kind of go in and put a little bit of orange right there. You're never even going to know. No one's going to know, right? All right. Then Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're gonna go ahead and add a bunch of glue. You could think you could have popped up the dress on the mannequin if you wanted to for some dimension. Um, but I'm gonna I didn't, obviously. So we're gonna do that. And then what's nice about this is I can go ahead and put this, let's see, we put it right about maybe there. Let's see if I got do my tweezers, get my big hands out of the way here. Yeah, these tweezers will work. They're not reverse tweezers, but we're just gonna kind of put it's centered enough. That's oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That'll work. And now that we put it on the vellum, I'm gonna let that sit to the side and dry for a minute. Then we can glue right behind that, and it will stick to my backdrop. So let's go ahead and put this together. Use my ATG gun or just some tape runner to, oh, and of course, tape gun's gonna act up tonight. Every so often it's been acting up. I just use it too much. I'm not sure why it's been doing this. I don't know if or if it's my tape. It's been just acted up a little bit. There we go. Get that down. We'll get that on our paper here. I have a truckload of shaped card dies. I think I'm going to challenge myself to making 10 cards that are not simply A2 just to use them. That is a great thing to do. I don't have a lot of shaped card dies. I would love to. I have one that is specifically for a shaped card, and it is a cupcake. I would like to get a couple more. I don't make a ton of shaped cards. I should, because they're fun. You know, basic shapes, obviously I can do a square, but mini, slim, and slimline are my favorite. So I do a lot of those, and I've been doing a lot more of those. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that the pattern is upright. I don't know if it really matters, but I would think that this part right here just reminds me of like your collar. So I'm going to make sure that's up to the top. And I'm going to try to put it to the left and to the top as much as possible. And then if I have a little bit of white on the side, we'll just cut that off. My goal this year has been to use up more scraps paper. And I have been doing that a lot. I also took a page out of my friend Tara's book, and I went through my scrap bin, and I actually found any piece of paper that could be cut into A2 card panels or slimline card panels, and I cut them down for that. So that I have them all in a shoebox. So I have a bunch of colored cardstock and pattern cardstock. Like, here, I'll show you for example. Here's here's all my slimline card panels. So I have pattern paper and stuff. So if I need a quick, easy, I could just grab a back, like here, I could make a Christmas card with this one. You know, and I didn't organize them at all, but they could quickly just do that and grab that and go. Because, you know, a lot of times we go down and we sit and we cut panels down. That takes a long time. So I felt that that was a good waste of time for me while I'm crafting. And it's a good way to use up thinner, like 60 pound paper. And I have a bunch of that in my stash. Half the supplies of which, yeah, and that's never going to happen for me either. I have been destashing and being a lot more careful with what I've been buying because just because I felt a little overwhelmed with what I had, or I felt like I wasn't buying the things that I really would necessarily want to use all the time just to have it. So like, I don't necessarily go with all of the newest releases. I will look and pretend, and then if it sells out the first day, you know, and I have to wait, that's fine. I still love to get everything, but I like to get the stuff I want to use, like, you know, making sure I just got a new sterling, you know, paper, and the cardstocks that I really like, and the stamps that stamps and dies I just really, 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 really am in love with versus impulse buying, I guess is the best way to say it. Because I only have so much space. Your scrap mothers and containers. Yes, yes, Christy. I actually have those plastic 3 drawers from um, Michael's or Walmart, you know, things like that. And I have one. I don't know what I had them from because I didn't buy them. And I have 3 stacked up. So I have a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, brown, black, white. And my white one was overflowing so much. So I finally went through it and threw, because I was keeping every piece of white paper under the sun. Don't ask me why. And I went through and I said, this is really inexpensive paper that's not good for anything. So I got rid of a bunch of it. So I have room for more new stuff, right? I mean, there are timeless things that you know, I love this set. As like I said, my mom is a sewer and, or my mom is a quilter. She's made costumes for my kids. My sisters sew. So I think that's fun. So here is the basis of our card. Now I think, what did I say? Looking sharp? Is that one? Looking sharp or tailor-made for you? Now I'm thinking we might need to do tailor-made for you because we have this white dress, or this, it's on the mannequin. Thinking. You keep me in stitches. I don't know. You live in Scrap City. Aerosmith for the win. Dream on. Dream on. Do, 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 do. I think I'm going to do you keep me in stitches because, you know, you're stitching that dress up. I don't know. I feel like we need a little bit more space there. I am going to do white and we're going to stamp it in and then die cut it out with a circle die. So we're going to put that down. I'm going to live dangerously here and just put it right in my Misty. And put it back down and just let it sit in this corner. Stamp it down. You know, I mean, I still, gonna be honest with you, I have scraps of paper that, you know, I mean, I know it's long, but if it's this width, I have a ton of them because they're perfect for sentiments. I just keep them all in a drawer and then I got to remember to use them. But I'm getting better about throwing things away. And not other than like, not vellum necessarily, but my glitter stock, of course. I keep almost down to the tiniest scrap of that because I have these teeny tiny heart dies and these teeny tiny star dies that I can cut those out and use them for. So gonna let that just sit for a minute. We will distress it. I'm gonna grab a circle die here of some sort if I can find one. Circle, circle, circle dies, oval dies. All right. This is another Spellbinders die that I just grabbed one. I think this will work. This is too big. Nope, this will work. It's a little big, but I think it'll be perfect. Not sure where my foundation dies are right now. I'm getting ready to go. It's another week yet, but I'm going away to craft with some girlfriends for the weekend, and I'm starting to try to pull some things. I have a plan for the first time ever going to a crop. Oh, Frank, I'm so excited. You have a bunch of what, Ellen? I missed it. Oh, the like tiny pieces of the glitter stock and things like that. I mean, I keep it all. Keep it all. So I keep it all my specialty papers. I mean, I've got some of the tiniest little bits. I mean, I have some of the old paper that was not even available anymore. I kind of hoard it. And then I have a plastic baggie somewhere where I keep it, but tiny, oh, strips. Yes, yes. I mean, and they weren't cut for strips. They actually came from when I made slimline cards. If I would cut them down, originally I'd start at 3.5, and if I'd cut them down, or if I started at 4 and then cut them down, that's where they would come from. Okay, so now this is kind of too white for me. Oh, yeah, I'm excited for you, Francie. Please make sure you share in the Brutus Monroe fan club with them. When speaking of that, I should mention probably we have till the 28th for the contest, the challenge. It is using it does not have to be a Halloween card, but using Halloween colors: orange, purple, green, white, brown, black, brown. I mean, I technically could use this as a challenge. Hashtag CYOE challenge so that I can see them. And I put all the names in a random drawer. You can enter up to 2 times. So I will put your name in twice if you have 2 cards. And I let the random drawer draw a name, and you get a $25 gift certificate to the store. And I also then share the entries, unless somebody would specifically ask me not to, entries on a blog post as a recap the following month. So please make sure you enter, because you've got a few more days left. I know it's got some white. I just didn't de-stress it so much as I added some weeping willow, but I think now that I talk about it, we are going to distress it. I think you did, Ellen, as I do believe you did. I have them on my computer, and you can post a second one. Like I said, it does not have to be a Halloween card. It just needs to have like the Halloween colors. I've already got next month chosen, and it's gonna be simple, super simple. And you need 1 Bruce Monroe product. It does not have to be all Bruce Monroe products, but at least 1 Bruce Monroe product. So if you're not sure, we're going to know what Bruce Monroe product, you can put it in the captions that you used, if it's an aqua pigment or an embossing powder or whatever. But that way it does need to have at least 1 Bruce Monroe product. So, all right. So I did de-stress that up a little bit, and we're going to add a little bit more color to those edges. I feel like it all has to match. You could also have just put the ink pad in and rolled the edges a little bit. I'm just going to brush it with my brush. Okay. I think we're just about done here. I actually, Tina, I pack both. I take my little die cut machine, but I know I'm going to have some bigger dies. Plus I'm going to foil. So I need to take my Spellbinders Platinum 6, even though somebody else will have them, because we foil every time we get together. It's just, it is, because I actually broke my Platinum 6 the last time I was there. I broke the handle off. Like, I can't carry it from the handle. I tried to pull it out of my car and it was too packed, and I pulled it out. Yep, Ellen, no, and that's okay. Not everyone always has something if they're just starting out. Or if it's, let's say, if it's based on, like, let's say it was a Halloween theme and you didn't have a Halloween stamp set, but you had the papers and, one of our stencils. Like, for example, let's say you got this free stencil with something, but you don't normally make Halloween cards, and it was a Halloween challenge, then this could be a Bruce Monroe product. That's why I said, make sure you just, if you don't know, if you're not 1,000% sure, like the main focal image isn't, it's nice to sometimes know what the product is. Does that make sense? I think this is going to go flat on my card. Yeah, it's fine. I just have to remember not to carry it from the top, and I don't take it very often anywhere, and I don't usually use it in my lives. I try to either die cut my big stuff out ahead of time, or I use my mini die cutter. But it's my own fault, and I try not to carry it from the bottom. Okay, now I think I have to trim off the bottom just a hair, because it's not a full this 100% right, because there's a little white showing here. So let's line this up. My goal is to make a bunch of cards for my first craft fair. So I've got things planned out to do if I don't have them done. Otherwise, I'm going to take some sketches from a couple different YouTubers that I follow and some pattern paper, and I'm going to go and I'm going to cut them down and make cards out of them, like, like quick template ones. And then the place where I'm going, she has colored cardstock on hand, so and I can just use some colored cardstock if I need it. But I think this is all we're going to do for this evening. Oh yeah, no, I know exactly. I'm so glad it was just the handle and not that. Like I said, I wedged it in and I pulled it and the handles went, and I haven't really looked into it to see if I could fix it. I just figured it's fine. Um, I've been using it a while, but it'll make it work. So I appreciate you guys joining me this evening. I am gonna head off to do some other things. So I hope you enjoyed tonight, and this is the last week of the month, so there's only a few days left to get not that for this inspiration box and these things, except that I think we just sold the last one, and we will have new products next week. Actually, what is next week? I think next week is Halloween. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yep, next week is November. So I will hopefully have the new release, the new subscription products that I can play with next week with you guys. Okay. So I appreciate y'all. Have a great evening. Have fun. Thank you very much. Oh, I wind up PMing people, PM people on other fan pages that's awesome, Ellen. We appreciate it. So thank you very much, you guys. Have a fabulous evening. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you'll see you next time. Bye.